Good morning and welcome to Yoga with Tanya. I'm Tanya, and today we are going to practice grace on purpose. That is the phrase that is running through my mind. It's been running through my mind for the last few days, and just practicing that element of grace, that goodwill, and that smoothness of motion. So a goodwill towards ourselves and others, and also just a smoothness of motion of how we move and how we think. And we are going to practice that together today. So be kind to yourselves, be gentle with yourselves, and be open to hearing what your body is telling you as we move through our poses here today. And before we do that, I do have with me a folded blanket that I will be sitting on. It's a great way to go through our seated poses here, especially when we first start. We are going to start on the floor for a bit. Also, when we switch to our standing portion, if you need some assistance getting up, make sure that you are near a wall or that you have a non-rolling, steady chair or desk or something that you can help bring yourself up with. And with that being said, let's begin. Let's bring some warmth to our hands and just give yourself a moment here to think about your intent for class. Mine, of course, will be focusing on this concept of grace and grace with purpose and practicing grace with purpose. But you can give yourself any word or phrase or just a feeling, something that you want to inform your movement here today, or that you want to check back in with when we're done, sort of a goal. So once you feel like your hands are nice and warm here, we're just going to put them on the back of your neck or the base of your skull. It's the top of your spine here. And just very gently press and release. Just a really easy motion, just like this, almost like a pulse that your hands are doing, that your fingers are doing. And working your way down to the tops of your shoulders. Just enjoying how that feels and thinking about your breath while you're doing this, making sure that you're not holding your breath and that you're still breathing nice and steadily. It seems like a silly thing to say, but I do it all the time, especially when something feels this good. I guess I was holding my breath. So not just in times of stress do we do it, but in times when we are actually taking a moment for self-care, we do need to be mindful of that. And release, give that a nice little shake. And speaking of our breath, let's take a moment here and place one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. Let your shoulders come up and then roll them down. And we're just going to breathe in. And out. Again, breathing in. And out. Notice the action of this hand that's on your belly when you're breathing in. You should feel this nice little push out. Ready? And then feel it contract back in as if the belly button is moving towards that spine. It's a little bit counterintuitive if you're not used to doing it, this diaphragmatic breathing, which is honestly, if you watch a baby breathe, that is how they are doing it. They got it right. And as adults, we move away from that. But it is the foundation of really being the healthiest that you can be. So let's practice it together one more time, breathing in and out. Very nice. Well done. So we are going to do another breathing technique this morning called alternate nostril breathing. I won't be mirroring you, which will be good for me because I have trouble with my directions. But just keep that in mind that we are, I will not be mirroring your actions on this one. What I call out will be what you are doing. So I am taking my right thumb and I'm going to place it on my right nostril, right? And we're going to begin on an exhale. So the first thing we're going to do is blow out and then in. And then you're going to take either your pinky or your ring finger and close your left nostril and exhale. And then inhale. And then take your thumb again, close your right nostril and exhale. Okay, that is one cycle. We are going to do several cycles of that. So this also can be very productive in terms of releasing. So you may want to have a tissue on hand just in case. And it's a great way to just bring a little bit of balance to your world. You may notice that as you're breathing in, one side feels a little more congested or just feels a little different than the other. So let's take note of that. So again, take your right thumb, close your right nostril, breathing out. Breathing in. Closing with either your pinky or your ring finger, whichever. Exhale. Inhale. Closing with your thumb and exhale. Let's do it again, and I'm not going to talk it through this sequence. Let's do 2 more cycles. Inhale. Close with your finger and exhale. Inhale. Close with your thumb and exhale. One more sequence. Let's do one more time. Yes. It's also a great way if you're starting to feel really just anxious about something or stressed. It's a great way to sort of just take a moment and let yourself feel grounded, giving yourself that goodwill, giving yourself that moment of grace to say, you know what, I need a second here and to just breathe. And this is a really great one to do to help move that along. So let's continue with a little breathing. We're going to take our pinkies together. We're going to breathe in. And then exhale. Let your fingertips brush across your shoulders to your collarbone. And release. If going up this high brings any kind of undue pain on this side, go ahead and just go this far. That's completely fine. So let's breathe in. Fingertips to your shoulders. Exhale. Once again, breathing in. Fingertips to shoulders. Exhale, brushing them forward. One more time, breathing in. Exhale. Very nice. And while your hands are here, let's just do a little massage. You can just start with one hand. Start with your right hand, just massaging on your left side, or your left hand massaging on your right. Just nice, gentle little squeezes. Just beginning to release that tension. And again, this is where that grace of motion would come in handy, because we want our hands to be steady and gentle, right? We want to make sure that we are giving ourselves a really nice moment here while we're still breathing, not holding our breath. Very nice. It feels good, right? So let's do a little leg work here. Let's do a little stretch, make these hips up. So you can just go out as far as you're comfortable. If you are sitting on a blanket, you want to just make sure that there's even distribution here. And it doesn't matter how far out you go. If this is comfortable, great. If this is comfortable, great. You want to go out even farther, congratulations. Knees. If you have tender knees or if you have knee issues and this is really uncomfortable, you might want to try bending them a little bit. You can also take up something folded like a towel or blanket, sitting on a towel or a blanket, and you can bolster it up under there too if that's easier for you. Please do that. There isn't anything that we do here that should cause pain. So if there is a way to do it without pain, then please do it. And it may mean that what you do looks different than what I do, and that's great. That's the way it should be because we are different, right? So we have to listen to what our bodies need and not what my body needs for you to do or what your body needs for me to do. Yeah? So there's that. All right. Wide-legged pose. Let's take a minute here. Let's breathe in and out. Very nice. Breathe in. And this time you're going to exhale and just go over with your left hand on your left knee and give a little twist. And then inhale up. And then to the other side. Right hand to the left knee and twist. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more time each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Very nice. Inhale to the center. This time when we exhale to the side, we are going to hold it for about 3 breaths. So think about how you feel in this position. Think about how far you actually want to twist, and you want to make sure that your neck is not doing this or this, right? We want to keep it nice and straight as we hold here. Not leaning too far back. You want to keep it nice and centered. One more breath here. And inhale. And release it to this side. And the same thing. And my hands are, the heel of my hand is very close to my hip here. And I'm just turning only as far as is comfortable. Breathing here. Again, thinking about your neck, you want it as if you're looking over your left shoulder here. But make sure that you're not looking too far down, too far up. We're like baby bear here. We want it just right. So breathing in. And out. One more breath here. Release. Inhale back to center. Very nice. So from here, sorry guys, my blanket is all bounded up there. It's making it feel a little weird underneath. All right, so from here, we are going to do a little bit of a forward bend. So again, with your knees, if they're feeling, if you have any stress or strain, you can always bend them up. And also you can flex the feet a little bit so that you're making sure that everything is staying nice and lined up, right? So we're going to breathe here. Inhale. Exhale, scoot forward just a little bit. And then inhale up. Preparing your body for the pose so you can get an idea of what it's going to feel like if you release all the way, okay? So breathing in and release. Breathing in. Last time. So this time, choice time. You have a choice. You can just lean forward a little bit and stay here, or, come a little bit on your elbows if you want, keeping your neck nice and straight. But if you feel any extra pain or stress along your spine back here or your neck, you want to make sure that you're not going too far forward. We don't want to put any extra pressure or strain on that, right? So you have a couple choices. If you have a little block or something and you want to just rest like this, you can do that. Or if you are feeling like this is cool, you can just kind of go ahead and release all the way down. And we're just going to breathe here for a couple of breaths. Again, think about your knees. If you start to feel any stress or strain, go ahead and bend them and flex your feet so that you have that nice line there. And we're just going to release here and breathe. And notice if you feel those hands creeping a bit forward on that exhale. Notice if there's any more releasing through that inner thigh. Notice if you feel as if you're getting closer to the ground, if you have released all the way. If you're holding in this position on a block or a box of some kind, notice if your body is just relaxing a little bit more in that lower back area. But also notice if your feet start to turn in. You want to make sure that your knees are in a really nice safe spot here. Make that small adjustment if that happens. And just breathe. And on your next inhale, we're going to very slowly move your hands back toward your center, making sure that your neck and your head are the last things to come up. Do a little shoulder reset, a little shoulder roll here. We are going to go to each side as well. I'm going to keep my legs open. If you would feel better for you, you can go ahead and bend one knee in, say when we're going to the left knee, or you can just keep them open. We are going to go to our right side first, so we're going to breathe in. Turn your body towards that right foot, and as you exhale, just lean a little, and inhale up. Exhale, lean, and here's where you want to really pay attention to what these hips are doing. If you feel them starting to come off your blanket or off your mat, you really want to concentrate on grounding and centering, right? It's less important how far down you go than it is to keep your body nice and firm and settled, right? So if this is as far as you're comfortable going, but everything is in place, then that's amazing. If you're going all the way down, but your body is all wackadoodles, you're not really giving yourself that moment of grace, really, right? So let's look towards your foot. Breathing in. Exhale, and you can release it all the way down if you want. Again, this is where we have our choices. You can pile your fists and let your head rest here if you want, if that feels okay for you. Again, the important thing is that you are even on your mat here with your hips and that your body feels comfortable and that you are breathing nice and steady, just allowing this stretch to happen. Breathing here. Noticing how your hips feel in this stretch. Noticing if you feel this gentle, sweet stretch right along this side here. Just taking note of how this feels on each part of your body. And just sinking into the pose as you breathe. And on your next inhale, we're going to walk very slowly again back towards the center, letting your head be the last thing to come up. Shoulder reset, and we're going to go to the other side. Make sure you're nice, solid on your mat, breathing in. Exhale, turn towards that left foot. Inhale up. Noting again where your hips are. Exhale. Inhale up. And this time sinking all the way in. If you want to close that foot in, if that feels better for you as you go forward, please go ahead and do that. But if you want to keep them open, you can do that too. Breathing in. Exhale, release. Taking note of how this feels throughout your entire body, where you feel the most stretch. If this is bringing any pain of any kind, please come out of the pose as gracefully, if you will, and quickly as you can. We don't ever want there to be pain. Breathing in and out. Couple more breaths here. And on the next inhale, we're going to slowly release that pose. Coming up nice and easy. Let's bring those legs together. Give them a little shimmy shake here. A little rock and roll windshield wiper action. And you want to make sure, I'm holding my hands up here because I'm making sure that I'm rolling from this. If I'm just rolling from my knees, that's it's not going to give you the results you want. So let's go ahead and make sure that you're doing a nice big full leg roll. It's these little motions, these little actions that are part of our bigger healing picture, right? And let's roll our ankles. Ooh, did you hear that? Let's talk about ankle pops, my friends. So pops and cracks, they happen as long as they're not accompanied by pain. Really, one of the things that could be telling me is that I need to loosen my joints, right? Get that synovial fluid going, lubricating inside. Phew. All right, so let's exhale, inhale. Exhale, point out. Inhale, bring up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Very good. Exhale. This time when we inhale, I want you to squeeze your calves, your thighs, and your glutes. Ready? Inhale. Squeezing, 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 squeezing. And then release. Let's do that again. Inhale. Squeeze those calf muscles, your thighs, and your glutes. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release. This time when we inhale, we're going to squeeze, but on the exhale, we aren't going to release. So breathing in. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Squeeze the abs, squeeze the glutes, squeeze everything, and release the breath, but not the hold. Breathing in again, squeezing more. And release it all. Very nice. Well done. All right, we are going to go into cat-cow. I'm going to do a traditional cat-cow in table position. If that doesn't feel right for you, if your wrists are feeling a little tender today, you can go ahead and do it seated. It would just look like this. right? So we're going to be doing that same action of the contraction on the exhale and the stretching on the inhale. Okay, so if you are feeling up for traditional, come into table pose with me. Here we want to make sure that your shoulders are above your wrists, your hips are above your knees, and you give me some nice wide old jazz hands. Here we go. Breathing in here. Exhale, tucking. Inhale, open. Exhale, all the way through the center. Inhale. And this is sort of a luxurious moment here, guys. You can take it nice and slow. No need to rush. Inhale, go all the way through the center. Let that chin come up. Let that beautiful smile come across your face. And then release. Really taking care here. Take your time. Inhale. And exhale. Tucking everything in. Slow and steady. No rush. One more time. Inhale. And when you're ready, exhale. Go ahead and inhale to a neutral position. And this time when you exhale, just take a peek over that left shoulder or right shoulder, whichever way you're facing. And then inhale back to center and then go to the other side, just peeking over a little bit, letting that hip move, as if you're trying to say, hey, what's going on back there, right? So inhale back to center. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale to center. Very nice. So we are going to come to a standing position. If you would like to do a downward facing dog and then come up from there, you can. If you want to just hold on to something and stand up, you can. Or you can just put your hands in front, come into a squat, and very gently come up. However you are choosing to come to a stand, please make sure that you are unwinding your spine slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, and releasing. Taking your time. If you come up too fast, you might find that you feel a little bit dizzy, or you might find that you just don't feel quite right in the balance. So always, always, always take care. Come up with grace, right? Very nice. All right, let's put our feet a little wider than hip width apart. We're just going to do some twists. So what I want you to think about are your knees here. We don't want to torque them, right? You want to make sure that you're not kind of doing that. You don't want to torque them. We're just doing a nice gentle twist here, right? You can look down. You can look up if looking down doesn't suit you. If you want to move your entire body and you're keeping your knees in line, if that feels better for you, please do that. But just make sure that you are always being safe and that if anything causes pain, that you don't do that. And then if you want to increase and try to take a look at that back heel, you can do that too. That was me hitting a wall. Very nice. A nice little release there for our hips. Let's go ahead and put your hands out in front. We're just going to do some wrist rolls. And you want to think about your knees. Even though we're just standing here, you want to make sure that your knees aren't locked and that your breathing is steady. You can switch directions here. Just rolling them. Do a little spirit fingers here, giving them a little flash. Just taking care, making sure that all of our joints are lubricated. Very nice. And now we're just going to come up, just do a little knee walk, right? And you could come up on your tippy toes if that's okay for you. If you'd rather just keep it down here, you can, but I'm coming up on my tippy toes. Just work in that area. You can walk on your heels if that's okay for you. Very nice. Just kind of loosening everything up, right? Let's do some shoulder rolls. So I'm going to put my hands on my shoulders. Again, I'm going to make sure my knees aren't locked. And the reason I'm saying that is because I find that I do that. So I am sharing it with you so that you make sure that you are not doing that. Hands on your shoulders, and we're going to just draw little circles with our elbows. Just like this. If you would prefer not to have your hands up here, if that for whatever reason does not feel great for you, you can just do little rolls like this too, okay? Please, again, just make sure you're choosing the path that works best for you. So little circles here, as if you're writing a message with your elbows. That message says, you're looking good. Great job today. You can do this. Big messages. Thank you for giving yourself this time. Thank you for taking this moment of self-care. Very nice. Just nice big circles. And let's stop that motion. We're going to switch directions. So we're going to start with our small elbow messages again. Little messages. And one of the messages is make sure you're not doing this. You want to make sure that your elbows are out nice to the side here. And you can let your messages get bigger. Really digging into those shoulder muscles, really thinking about those knees, making sure they're not locked. Thinking about your breath, making sure it's nice and steady. Very nice. Oh, feels so good. Let's let that stop. We're going to breathe in, shoulders to ears, and we're going to let it out with a very big sigh. Because it feels so good. Ready? So breathing in. And then release. Breathing in. And release. One more time, the best you can do. Really, really slow inhale. Holding it for a brief moment and then just letting it go with the biggest sigh ever. Ready? Breathing in. A little more. A little more. And release. Okay. All right, we are going to do a hip rotation here. For my friends, if this is not right for you, this is not a good motion for you, we are going to be doing, I will show you what we're going to do before we get into it. We're going to be doing some hip rotations. If for whatever reason this is not your thing and this is totally uncomfortable, you can just go ahead and either wait in mountain pose for us, or if you do have a wall nearby, you can just do some gentle, put your foot forward and just do some gentle stretches while we rotate our hips. That's just an option if you if this one does not feel good for you. Okay, so all I did, and I'll turn to the side so you can see a little better here. I'm standing here in, let's say mountain pose, right? Just like this. And then I'm just going to step my right foot forward. I'll let my left foot come back a little bit. My knee is a little bit bent. And again, how wide you want to be is totally your call. Okay? If you feel comfortable being a little wider, that's fine. Or if you feel comfortable being in a little more, that's fine too. You're going to place your right hand on your right hip, left hand on your waist, and you're just going to rotate. And you really want to think about the size of the rotation, because if it's okay for you, you can go big. You can go like you're touching all corners of your room with your body. Or if you want to keep it small like this, you can do that too. The goal here is just to loosen these guys up, right? And if you are doing some stretches against the wall, please make sure that you are in a safe position for that. Breathing here, we're going to stop and switch directions. So if you are doing it against the wall, this would be a time to switch your feet. Very nice. This is another place where you may hear some little cracks. Your hips might be talking to you a little bit. We ask a lot of our hips, and we tend to forget about them. We think about, how our knees feel or how our back feels, but a lot of times our hips being healthy and our hips feeling good can go a long way to helping the rest of our body. So let's stop here. We're going to switch. So now my left foot is going to be forward, my right foot is going to be back, left hand on hip, right hand on waist, and we're going to rotate. And again, the size of the rotation is your call. You can go big, or you can go small, whatever feels the best for you. Gentle rotations, nice and easy. And this side may feel very different than the other side. It may feel exactly the same. Just notice what the case is with that. If it is the same, notice that. If it's different, notice that. Very nice. We're going to stop and switch directions. Just a little loosening here. And one more time around, and then we're going to pause. Together, we're going to do what I call the miracle brushes. I will be honest with you, I don't know why this works, but it works. I mean, I know a little bit why it works, but it works every time for me, hands down. Take your 4 fingers, you're just going to place them here right above your hips, and you're just going to very gently brush forward. So there are a couple of things that it's doing, but one of the things for me is just a reminder, like, you know what? It's okay, right? It's all good, and it just feels relaxing. So if you're having a moment, feeling super stressed, or your day is just not going the way that you envisioned it, just give yourself this second here. Take a deep breath and just do some very gentle, it's just a gentle brush. It's lighter than you think it would be. But I will tell you, I call these my miracle brushes. Amazing. Right, just a few more. Just so nice and relaxing. And release. Very nice. So we are going to do our chair pose today. We're going to get some strength into our legs from that. So what I want you to do is just stand with your, I'm trying to decide which way is best. I'll stand this way. We'll stand with your feet right about hip width apart. You're going to breathe in. And as you exhale, you're going to sit as if you're sitting in a chair, right? And then your knees are bent. You want to make sure that you're not too far forward here, right? You're down here. If this doesn't feel right for you, you can put your hands on your hips or you can put them here, okay? So let's breathe in and release. And let's breathe out and go into chair. Breathe in and release. Again, preparing for the pose. I'm going to turn this way now so that you can see my face and I'm not blocking it. Don't need to block you out. So breathing in. Exhale into chair. Breathing here. You want to think about relaxation in your shoulders. Your teeth are unclenched and you're taking some nice deep breaths here. Breathing in and out. One more in and out. This time, let's breathe in and release. And let's let your back arch just a little bit. It's okay for you. And then when you exhale, hands together into your heart center. Let's do that one more time. Are you ready? We're going to breathe in. We're going to breathe out and have a seat in your chair. And you want to think about your knees. You want to make sure that they're not going in like that without you. You want to just have that nice evenness there. And that you can squat down a little bit more if you want. You want to think about the weight in your feet, that it's not all on your toes here. And again, with the arms, if this starts to feel to be too much, you can put them down here, or you can just put them out in front of you too. That's fine. Just breathing here, nice and steady. One more. You can do it. And release, inhale. Going all the way back for a little bit of a bend back here. Hands together to your heart center, and then exhale. Beautiful. Well done. All right, my friends, let's do some angel breaths and then we'll head back down to the floor. Okay, so for angel breaths, I stand with my feet a little bit wider than I just had them, but again, it's your call for comfort level. And we're just going to breathe as we do. And you're going to think about bringing your chest towards the ceiling, arms out wide. And then when we exhale, I'm going to give you an option today. Usually I don't, but there is another way. So there's lots of ways to do this, but you can, on the exhale, either just bend and hug, or if you feel comfortable, you can release all the way. Okay, I'm going to give you that choice of which to do. I'm going to show the alternate version, which is not bending all the way forward, but if you feel like that's okay for you and you feel completely comfortable, then please go ahead and release all the way. All right, so we're going to breathe in. Shoulders back as if you're cracking a nut back there with those shoulder blades. And then as you exhale, you're going to cross your arm over and give yourself a hug. And again, if you want to release all the way down, you can, letting that neck go. But if that's not comfortable for you, just release here. Breathing in. Opening those arms, welcoming all that beautiful air. And then when you're ready to exhale, change hands, cross the other arm over, exhale in a hug. Breathing in. Arms wide, shoulders back, teeth unclenched. It's okay to smile. Exhale, crossing and hugging. Breathing in. Exhale. One more time, each side, at your own pace. Remembering to practice grace. And then after that last one, just come back to center and release. Very nice. Very nice. Before we go down to the floor, let's take a minute and just sort of take stock of how your body is feeling right now and giving yourself a moment to sort of ground in. The word I've been throwing out a lot today has been grace. So let's take just a minute and see what goodwill we can send through our body. And also think about the motion of our body, how it feels. So do we feel stable? Do we feel wobbly? Do we feel strong? Let's just take a second here in mountain pose and let your feet be about hip width apart if you want. You can move them in a little if you want. My hands are out forward, shoulders are down and separate. I'm going to close my eyes and just breathe here. And just really think how your feet feel. Is there an evenness in how they're planted on the floor? How your knees feel. Are they soft? Are they locked? Just note. Thighs. Your chest. And then go ahead and just open your eyes. And let's go back down to the floor. So again, how you choose to get down is how you feel comfortable getting down. I'm just going to take a deep breath in. Exhale. And bend down and come down to my mat. Please choose to come down in whatever way is safe for you. Right? So from here, we're going to do a little bit more breathing, but I do want to release in the hips a little bit. So let's come down. I'm going to scoot my mat so I have a little more space here. We're going to do happy baby pose, and you want to make sure you have a little bit of space here for that, right? So I'm going to put my hands behind my knees and lower one vertebrae at a time down to the floor. Okay? So from here, I'm going to breathe in, bring my knees to my chest, and first we're just going to do a little massage. Just let your knees roll. My fingers are pointed towards my toes. Just give that nice little sacral massage there. Really feel the back rolling against the mat. I'm going to stop and switch directions. Very nice. We're going to do happy baby pose. So go ahead and bring your knees up like this and keep them bent. Feet are up here. You can hold on to your toes. You can bring your hands around and hold on to your heels, or you can hold on here. Whatever feels right for you. And you'll notice as you're in this pose that you will start to feel it right in here in your hips. And we're just going to hold where you're comfortable. You can, as if you're bringing your hips, your knees towards you. And we're just going to rock very gently. Taking some deep breaths. And if you want to increase, you can wrap your hands around. And just let your knees come towards your chest. You should feel a nice opening there in your hips. And let your legs go out as wide as you're comfortable. And just very gently rocking it, right? We're not doing anything super duper crazy here. It's a nice little rock. Just releasing. Breathing as you release. Very nice. And let's let the hands come down. And let your feet come to the mat. We're going to do some wind relievers here. So we're going to let the right leg come all the way down to the floor and be straight. And we're going to bring the left knee in on an inhale. And then exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. This time we're going to inhale and lift up as if you're meeting it. And then release. Breathing in. And out. And then lower that left leg. And now do the same with the right. So bringing the right knee in. And out. And in. And out. In this time, chin up. And out. Everything down and release. So this time we're going to bring both feet in. So breathing in. Exhale here. We're going to switch it up a little bit. And you're going to put both legs out. And in. If that's proving to be a bit stressful, you can still keep one foot on the floor if that feels more comfortable for you. But if you can stick with me for 3 more, you can do that. One more. Oh, very nice. Now give yourself a little hug. Feels so good. And release to the floor. Let's inhale, let that right foot go up. Let your right ankle cross over just above your knee. You don't want it to cross on your knee, but just above your knee. And if it's okay for you, you can lift that left foot. If that doesn't feel okay, you can just leave it here and just get that nice stretch right in here. But if you can, let's go ahead and bring it up and feel that nice stretch all along your hip. If you want, you can weave your hand through and hold at your shin. And just breathe here for a nice little stretch. If this is too much, please, please, please stay down here. You're still going to get a really beautiful stretch that way too. Choose your level. It's like choose your own adventure, but yoga style. Breathing in. Couple more breaths here. Notice if you're feeling yourself bringing your knee closer to your chest. And on your next exhale, go ahead and release all the way back to the floor. Let's take that left leg, bring the left ankle over the right, just above the knee. Breathing in, and again, if it's okay for you, you can lift. If that's too much, just lift a little bit, or not at all. Or, because we are all about choices, you can go ahead and weave your arm through here and pull in. Not pull, you don't want to say pull, but you know what I'm saying. And just gently let your thigh guide towards your chest here for that really nice stretch. Breathing in. And out. Notice if you're able to sink into this stretch a little more as we go through it. And release. Feels so good. Let's do a little breathing here. So we're going to start with an exhale, and when you exhale, I want you to bring your knees together and pelvic tilt. And then when you inhale, let your feet come together, knees apart. So exhale, knees together, pelvic tilt. Inhale, feet together, knees apart. Exhale, and you can bring your arms up to engage them in goalpost arms if you want, or even a little higher if that's okay for you. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. So go ahead and do 3 more on your own. You'll end on when you get to the last inhale position, just go ahead and stay there. So inhale. Exhale. And then do 2 more on your own. So once you get into your inhale position, you can release the arms if you were choosing to engage them. And you can just let them rest on your belly area or palms up next to you. And we are just going to breathe here in this pose for just a couple minutes. Make sure your shoulders are down. And, shoulder blades are back. You want to keep these guys away from your ears, meaning you're just not hunched up like this, right? And just breathe here. Just a couple of moments. letting everything release. Last time. And then release together. And let's come to a seated position for a moment here. I'm going to do some spine rocks. So that just means I'm going to put my hands behind my knees and just very gently rock up and down like this until I come up. If this doesn't feel okay for you, if you feel like it's not the right choice, you can just come up in whatever way does feel safe and good for you. You with me? All right. So we are going to get ready for a brief Shavasana here, our favorite part of practice, and that is just giving ourselves that one last moment together to let our body and our brain process all of what we've done here in practice today. So if you have a blanket that you want to cover with, sometimes we get a little chilly during Shavasana, or if you need a little support underneath your knees while we're doing this, or underneath your back, we do want to make sure that you're in the most comfortable position that you can be in while we're doing this. So I am going to lie down with you for just a moment, and then I am going to sit up so I can make sure you're able to hear me while we're doing this very last beautiful restful pose here. So go ahead and get comfortable, and you do want to make sure that if you are lying down, if you're not doing this seated, if you're doing it seated, there's a couple choices you could do this, but you do want to make sure that your back is protected. So it is lying down is one of the best choices for this. Go ahead and lie down, and you do want to make sure that your back is completely flat on your mat. So if you want to have your knees up, you can. Or if you have some kind of support that you want to put underneath there, you can do that. Whatever feels right for you. If you are laying down completely, let's just take a moment here and let your head go gently from side to side. Just taking a moment to just sort of massage the back of the skull here. Talking to that little cluster of things that we have back there. Releasing. You want your shoulder blades to be tucked under. Your palms can be up. For some people, this is uncomfortable, so it's okay if you want to put your palms here. But we are going to start with a guided breath. I do have my eyes closed, but if you prefer keeping them open, please do. Put your hand on your belly, and we're going to breathe in for 4, hold it, and then exhale for 4. Okay? Connecting our breath and our mind. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and hold. And release. 2, 3, 4. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4, and hold. And release. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, and hold. And release. 2, 3, 4. Very nice. Allow your breathing to become natural. Allow your eyes to close if you wish. If you have glasses on, you may want to remove them if that's more comfortable for you. Just letting each part of your body be at its easiest self right now. Toes. Let your focus go to your feet for a moment. Think about giving your toes and your feet permission to just relax. They don't have to take us any place right now, right? We don't need to even wiggle them, we can just let them be. And let your eyes travel up to your shin, to your calf. And just notice how they feel and give them permission to be at ease, to take a breath, letting your eyes travel in your mind to your nose. Freeing them from all responsibility right now. Letting them just be loose and just settle in place. Apply. Notice how they feel against the mat. And give them permission to just sink into the mat. Your hips. Give your hips this moment. Do not have anything to do. It's so nice for them. Let them just release. Your back, your shoulders, shoulder blades, arms, and hands. Imagine each of these parts of your body taking a breath, just saying thank you for letting them relax, letting them leave, letting them disengage. Your neck, your jaw, your eyes. Allow them to feel soft. Allow them to feel gentle and tender. The back of your head. Feel each part of your body and each part of your being. This moment to just mesh with your mat, your floor, or whatever part you're sitting on. Just let each part of you feel this moment of relief, this moment of comfort, and this beautiful space between your eyes, this brow that furrows with our questions and squeezes with our concerns. Let it be smooth. Send all thoughts, all concerns, and all emotions away. We know they're there, but it's okay to send them away. It's okay to release whatever isn't helping you in this moment. Release. Allow your body this moment of grace. Feed each part of you on this goodwill of health, of nurturing, and of time for you. This grace of motion, where we are mindful of how we are using each part of our body. And we are mindful of our breath in and out. And feed each part of our being with this grace, with this goodwill, with this tenderness that nourishes from our head, moving slowly, completely, and efficiently through our being, cleansing, comforting, and energizing, working its way through all of who we are physically, all of who we are emotionally, our complete being. It's as if we are being hugged in this moment, in this space. We have this. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Begin to notice how you feel on your mat. Begin to notice where each part of your body is connected to the mat, connected to the space you're practicing in. Take note of the sounds and smells around you, and begin to very, very gently bring motion into your toes and wiggle your toes. Open and close your hands, and just let your body begin to stretch in whatever way feels good for you in this moment. Let your head turn gently from side to side, all the way to the right, all the way to the left. Open your eyes, bring your knees into your chest, and let your body rock from side to side. If it's okay for you to go all the way to the right and all the way to the left, please do so. If that doesn't feel right for you, just a gentle rock here is great too. And then after a few moments of that, just come all the way over to whichever side feels strongest for you today. And just let your body hold there for one more sweet second to process all of this goodness that you've cultivated here. And then when you are ready, go ahead and meet me in easy cross-legged pose, coming up in whatever way is right for you. And just give yourself a moment here to think about what your intent was at the beginning of class today. And compare that to the now for you. Just to note it. I am so thankful that you were able to join me here today. And I'm sending you on your way with the greeting of the closing. Sorry, let's start over again. We're going to do it all again. It's a greeting. Sorry, it's our closing. I'm going to say namaste, but please feel free to say any word that works for you. Namaste.